Hello, let's do the New York Times medium Sudoku for June 16th, 2024. As you can tell, I have lost my voice and I apologize for how I sound. Doing my best though. So for the medium puzzles, I do use a systematic approach, which I go over in great detail in the video in the description called Everything You Need to Know to solve the New York Times Sudokus. If you haven't watched that, I definitely recommend that you do. It's a really good primer on pretty much everything that you need to know to solve these, and also my own sort of brand of techniques and strategies and the names I use for things, all of that. So if you get confused during the solve, like, hey, what was that step? I think your first step should be to watch that video, and I should be going over it. If after that you still have questions, I'm very happy to field them in the comments. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm so sorry. There's going to be interruptions like that. So we're gonna go band by band here, and we're gonna start in the box with the fewest givens in it. So this 9, and we look for other 9s. We don't see any. Then we look at this 146. We compare against here. There are no other 146s, so no repeated digits. There's basically nothing to do in this band, so we're gonna move on. We have this 3 and this 5, so the 5 is repeated. Those look in, so we can corner mark 5s here, meaning that within this box, the 5 has been reduced to these 3 cells. Nothing for the 3, but we do have 2, 4, and 8. Only the 4 has a repeat over here. So those 4s look in, this 4 looks down. There's a 4 in one of these two. All right, is there anything else to do in this band? Not that I am seeing. So we just keep moving. We have this 6. It has this duplicate 6 down here. This 6 looks down. That places this 6. Nice. Only place in the box for the 6, so it's called a hidden single in the box. We also have this 2, 3, 7. There are no duplicate 2, 3, 7s, so that's all we get with that. Anything else to do in this band? Well, there is. It's debatable whether we should be doing this on the first pass, but notice how this box has only 1 row and 1 column left. That makes it very juicy to find things in that row and column that aren't yet placed in the box. So 6 is already placed, but 3, 4, and 8 are not. Actually, sorry, 3 is already, but 4 and 8 are not. So starting with this 8 does look into the box. It does mean there's an 8 in one of these 2 cells. And that is going to point up. Unfortunately, we don't have any like good immediate reaction to that, but we do want to remember that pointing. This 4 looking down does put a 4 in one of these 2, and that does make the 4 point outward to the rest of the row. So pointing is basically in this box. The 4 has been reduced to one of these 2 cells. We know the 4 will end up here or here. There is going to be a 4 here or here. They're both in the same row. So that's going to be the 4 for the row as well, because we can't omit one of these 4s. We can't put another 4 elsewhere. So as a result, this 4 looking in, I am seeing this 4 look down as well. So we're going to put a corner mark 4 in one of those 2 as well. This one's not good enough to corner mark because I don't corner mark like around corners like that. But yeah, that you may or may not have spotted that on the first pass. Sometimes I would wait for the second pass to do that. But since we got very little from our first pass on bands, I figured I would include that, since it's a pretty easy pattern to recognize. To be like, hey, look, there's only 1 row and 1 column left in this box that isn't filled. So let's take advantage of that. This 4 pointing in, really what you want to do is you want to try to bake in pointing as best as you can. So that if that means looking for other of that digit, then do so. Because you're going to forget about the pointing later. You have to scan it again every time it's irrelevant. All right, well, let's continue and let's do the stacks now. So the 6 and the 9, not helpful. So we don't have any repeats in this stack either. Nothing really crazy to look at here. Let's look at the next stack. So we've got the 1, 4, and let's start with the 3, 5, of course. We have the 2 3s. This 3 looks in. So we have that 3 there. Follow up on that. We already did this band, but now this 3 has a buddy. Puts a 3 down here somewhere. That's really the only follow up to do there. So the 3, the 5, there is no 5. We also have the 1, 4, and 6. Again, we already took care of 3. So if you remember that, you can save yourself a little bit of time. 1 and 4 don't have buddies. The 6 does. The 6 helps. There's a 6 in one of these 2. Okay. That might be it for that stack. Okay, one thing we can notice is that there's only one column left in this box, right? So the 7 looking in does cause 7 to be in one of these two. I think that's all we get though. Okay, let's do the final stack here. So we got the 3, 5, and 8. So no buddy for the 3. The 5 does have a buddy, so they look down. And these 4 corner marks we had are extremely useful now because 5 is limited to the same 2 cells. So that causes a hidden pair. Basically, 4 and 5 need to go in this box somewhere, and these are the only places they both can go. They can't go in any other cell. Neither of them can. Neither of them can is the important bit, right? They're both limited to exactly these 2 cells and only these 2 cells. And so that makes a hidden pair because those are the 2 cells they will use. You can sort of see the logic, right? We need 2 cells we need a cell for 4 and we need a cell for 5. These are those cells. There aren't any other cells that can do it for either 4 or 5. Okay, so that's a hidden 4-5 pair. And what a hidden pair does is it removes other options from those cells. So one thing we can do is we can look at what the remaining 3 digits are in this box. And those are going to go in these 3 cells because they can't go here anymore. So it's going to be the 2, the 3, and the 7. So I'm seeing this cell can't be 2 or 7. So this is only a 3. And then this leaves a 2-7 pair behind here. Now that 3 we placed is a buddy for this 3 that we already had looked at. So that places this 3. Those 3s look in here, placing this 3. That removes a 3 corner mark from here, telling us this 3 corner mark is now the hidden single. These 3s look down along with these 3s, placing this 3. And we actually just finished all the 3s. All right. Really good follow-up there. So we have the 3 and the 5. Now we're looking at the 8. These 2 8s look in. That just places the 8 here. That has a buddy. Puts the 8 somewhere in here. Not as nice as the 3s, but still. All right, so we covered the 3, 5, and 8. We want to compare these against each other now. They both have a lot of givens in them. This actually is technically fewer, but we can look for 1, 3. 3s are done, right? 6, 8, 9. So the 6s do help. There's a 6 down up here somewhere. 8s are done. The 9s help. So the 9s are in one of these 2. Okay. Now this box is down to 3 open cells, so we're just going to take care of that by center marking them. We need the 1, 2, and 7. Seeing the top one can't be 2, but otherwise I'm not seeing anything. So that doesn't do much, but now you can see that we have that marked. This whole column is down to 1, 2, 7, 9. Unfortunately, there's no 1, 2s, 7s, nor 9s looking at these cells. So we're not going to mark it because we don't mark 4. This column is markable because we need 2, 4, and 7. So yeah, this one can't be 4. And so the only place for 4 in this column is here. Follow up on that 4, placing this 4, follow up on that 4, putting a 4 in one of these 2. Oh, but remember we had these pointing 4s. I told you we'd forget about it. But I did scan over there and I saw it. So we have these pointing 4s, which actually does force the 4 to be here, which resolves our 4, 5 hidden pair that we got earlier. Let's follow up on that if we can. The 4 or the 5. I don't see any follow-up for that, unfortunately. I don't. Okay. What we do have now, though, is this column, which is 1, 2, 6, 7. This can't be the 1, so this is 2, 6, 7. Okay. This could be any of them. That's surprising. All right. When we did these 3s, we did cause some, at least this row to be down to 4, cause this row to be down to 3, because we got this 3 and 4. Let's start here. We need 2, 6, and 7. I'm seeing neither of these can be 6, so the 6 in this row is placed. That's why we look. This is now down to 1, 2, 7, which I am going to put in. We know, okay, look at these corner marks, right? These corner marks are telling us this can't be 7. So you can just trust your corner marks and go, where's 7 in this row? Only here, right? And then the final digit is, and you can also see the 7 did it if you'd like to, just if you don't trust your marks as much as I trust my marks. All right, so we can place the 2 there. So the 7 and the 2 both help. There's the 7 in one of these 2. And then the 2s, the 2 is placed. Now that did displace a corner mark 8, but there are still 2 places for 8, so we can't do anything immediately with that. But it does cause the 2 to be placed in this box. The rest of this row is 3 digits. I think at this point, we're just looking at rows, columns, boxes with 4 or fewer. I think that's going to finish the puzzle, but we can actually do this 7 and 2 first. We always follow up on place digits, though. It's always helpful to seed with more markings or to place more digits. The 2 is placed, for example, here. These two 2s look up. 2's up here. I'm noticing we got this 2, so we get the 7 here as well. This 1-7 pair tells us 2 is here. Places that 2. We're done with 2s. This is a 1 and a 9. These are 5, 8, 9. I can see this one can't be 5. So the 5 is here. That's going to point down along with this 5. This 5 helps, putting a 5 here. Yeah, I'm surprised we don't know what joins the 8 yet. All of these are placed in the box other than the 8. So we don't know what joins the 8 yet. What about vertically? The 4, the 6, the 2, the 3. Yeah, they're all placed. Okay. I mean, there's low-hanging fruit here. I just wanted to see if this had more to give. This row, for example, we need 1, 5, 8. I'm going to mark it. I'm not seeing anything, though. This row, we're down to 1, 6, 7. We know this can't be 7. So the 7 ends up over here. Before I do more marking, I notice that when I place these 7s, I'm scanning up and down. I'm scanning perpendicular to them, right? And seeing that these 7s are also marked here. So the question to ask then is, well, if these 7s are in these 2 rows and these 7s are in these, or sorry, these 7s are in these 2 columns and these 7s are in these 2 columns, where's the 7 in the 3rd column? And the answer is it can only be here. Place that 7. This is a really good clue. You should be looking at that column. This can't be 9, so it's 1, 5, 8. Oh, not all of them. 1, 5, 8. Okay, I was looking at this. So this was down to 1, 6, 7. I'm just going to mark that now. It's not 7, that's not 6. Oh, this is a pair. I was kind of hoping, because I'm looking at that corner mark 8. The first thing I look for is whether this can be 8, and it can be. So now we have to hunt for the other digit, which is 9. So 8, 9, and then this can't be 9. So this is the 8. This is the 9. That places the 8 in the box. So the 9 ends up being the digit that joins the 8. We didn't find it via this row, unfortunately, but this is a 7, 9 pair. That places the 5 in this box as well. And now we know this is a 1, 4 pair. This 1 tells us the order, 4 and 1. And that's the 1 for this column. That places the 4 here and the 6. Okay, we get our 7 and 1, which places the 7 and 8, which places that 8, and this is something. This is a 9. Let's clean up a little bit. Clean up this 8, clean up the 7. That's a 1, 7 pair. So I guess this is a triple. Might as well start there. We need the 5, 6, and 9 here. Just going to mark that out. All right, I'm sure there's just some easy stuff to do here. This is 1, 5, 6 for the column. It's hanging on. We need 1, 5, 6, and what? 1, 5, 6, and 8. So the 8 can only go here. And this is 1, 5, 6. Okay, it's not a 6. Okay, so 6 in this box goes here, giving us 5, 9, and 6, giving us 1 and 7 and 9. Oops, 5, 1, 7, 1, 5, 9, 5, 9, 1, and we're done. All right, I think probably the most important spot of this puzzle was this hidden 4, 5 pair. It's not easy to see because we had to use these pointing 4s along with this 4 to mark the 4s here. Marking the 5s is easy, right? Marking the 5s is going to be something you'll do. Marking the 4s requires you to notice the interaction between these pointing 4s and this 4 here. So I think that might be the hardest step of the puzzle, but do let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.